Now to the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, who joins us live from Brisbane. Treasurer, good to see you. Thanks for joining us bright and early this morning. You've just been on a tour of the promised land in far north Queensland, Cairns and tourism. You've seen it. You've seen the damage up there when it comes to the tourism sector that's been absolutely decimated. So what are you going to do about it?
Well, the first thing is we have been providing extensive support already into the Cairns and to the Townsville and to the Whitsunday regions and to the economies right across Queensland's tourism-dependent areas. Yesterday I had a good opportunity to be in Cairns and also in Townsville and to hear firsthand about how the impact of COVID is still quite severe on a number of businesses. So we'll have more to say in coming days, but we have already announced in last year's budget additional measures that continue to roll out across the economy. They're putting more money into people's pockets that can be spent at those tourist destinations. The other message that I heard from the tourism leaders over the course of recent days in Queensland is the importance of keeping those domestic borders open. Yes, in Cairns they rely heavily on the international tourist dollar, but if more Australians are packing their bags, jumping on a plane and going to Cairns or to Townsville or to other parts across Queensland, then that will be good for those local economies and of course good for jobs. And with the rollout of the vaccine, Pete, we're more hopeful that there can be less of those stop-start border closures.
Are you considering aviation grants and interest-free loans?
Well, I know you'd love me to announce new measures on your program today. I'm not about to do that. We're still working through the final details of that package, and the Prime Minister, myself, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Tourism and Trade Minister will have more to say in coming days.
Okay, but you are considering it. That's on.
Well, again, you can play this game of what's in, what's out. What you do know is that the Morrison government has been with these communities every step of the way. You know, it'd be remiss of me not to point out that as I'm standing here in Queensland, we have already delivered from the federal government over $28 billion to Queenslanders. That's more than 3 times what the Palaszczuk government has just committed to over the next 4.5 years. So we've actually walked the talk when it comes to supporting Queensland businesses and Queensland families, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Okay, well, beyond Queensland and the tourism sector in particular, what about wage subsidies for apprentices and changes to migration? We've had several conversations over the past year or so, and even at the budget last year, about those huge drops in migration levels. So what sort of changes are you expecting in that space?
Well, as you know, with the international borders closed, that's had a dramatic impact on net overseas migration, the number of people coming to this country either to work or to live or indeed to study. So once the virus is more contained globally and we can be sure of the health impacts that can be controlled, we will move to loosen those border restrictions, but we've got to follow the medical advice. We can't move ahead of that when it comes to the international borders. So we're continuing to look at those particular settings. When it comes to apprenticeships, the Prime Minister is making a very substantial announcement today, which will bring to the total of money that we have committed to apprenticeships to more than $5 billion over the last 12 months. We announced last year that we would provide a 50% wage subsidy to businesses who took on apprenticeships, whether they were in the trades or whether they're in the retail industry or whether they were in the hospitality industry. And we saw a take-up of 100,000 within just 5 months. So we're uncapping the program, we're extending the program, and again that will see tens of thousands of more apprenticeships taken up here in Australia, and that's a good thing for the long-term prospects of our economy.
Treasurer, Julie Bishop claimed last night that there's a club of big swinging dicks, they're the words that she used, that tried to stall her career. What do you know about that?
Well, I just know what you've put to me, and obviously it was written about previously many years ago. But Julie Bishop has had the last laugh. She became Australia's first female foreign minister and did an outstanding job in that role. She became deputy leader of the Liberal Party, a position that I'm very privileged to hold right now as her successor. And she made a big difference in public life. So she's very much had the last laugh when it comes to her career or any attempts, as she said, by people to stymie it.
Okay. Who's in this club?
I don't know, and again, I don't want to know.
Okay, just finally, lots of questions about whether or not we should become a republic this morning, Treasurer. The Royals are at war. A lot of people asking, do we really need them? What's your position on this?
Well, I mean, this is not a time to kickstart that debate, obviously. I didn't actually watch Oprah Winfrey, and again, I've just seen reporting of that story. But you know, clearly, there's been troubles in the House of Windsor, and I'm not about to add to that speculation.
But you are for a republic?
Well, I have been, absolutely. I've been on the record of stating that in the past, both in print and in interviews, but it's not the pressing priority right now. The pressing priority right now is for Australia to effectively respond on both the health and the economic front to this pandemic. That's what we have been doing effectively. I'm here in Queensland talking to businesses, talking to families, and then in coming days I'll be joining the Prime Minister to announce further measures.
Yep, fair enough too. All right, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you soon.